Hey, Justin. Good morning, Otto. Good morning, Danny. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Justin, so you need to come over to the house, man. Got to get you over here. So anytime, come over today if you're not doing anything, man. We'll hang out and talk some stocks. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's go ahead and get started here. So I wanted to start a little bit early because maybe it's just me, but it feels like there is a lot of negativity in the air. I feel like people, traders, are having a hard time lately, and I feel like I can present something that will help. One thing I do want to say as a disclaimer is I can have the best levels in the world, and I believe I do. But that doesn't make you a better trader. All right. That does not mean that you are going to be able to be a good trader. I'm sorry. There's a lot behind becoming a better trader, and a lot of it has to do what's between your ears. It means, for me, it means canceling out noise, which means Twitter. Anybody that has an opinion, I don't really care for. News, we do not watch news in this house. If you're a member here at Trendy Trading, you know that most of the time, my members have to tell me what's going on. So I use 100% technical analysis and I do very well. I do have drawdowns just like anybody else, but that's just a part of trading. Let's go ahead and get started here. First thing I want to talk to you about is the ES futures. I did take a short last night, and I think I came in at like 17 and a half points or something. Went ahead and covered. But my note here is, and I'm just going to read this to you just in case you're having a hard time seeing it. And anybody that's out there watching me on YouTube, um, and especially Periscope and so forth, just give it a few seconds for the resolution to come in. It takes a little bit, okay? So don't give up. The price was having a hard time at the 4H9 EMA. So I'm watching the 4 hour. All right. Watching the 4 hour. The trade is short until it hits the green box down here. Lots of confluence at that green box. So let me go ahead and zoom in. And if anybody's watching for the first time, for me, okay, ES is my driver. I literally trade everything off of this. I'm watching to see how it reacts overnight. I use the line in the sand and I use these boxes. The red boxes are resistance, the green boxes are support, and then we use trendy edges. And you can see any line to the downside is support, lines to the upside are resistance. Okay, give me 1 second here while I bring up my drawing tool. There we go. All right, so we're going to slide this over. We're going to go ahead and zoom in here. And you can see that the 9 EMA is here. We are on a 4H candle. Okay. So that 4H candle, notice that when it came up last night, it pushed right into this and was having a hard time. And not only did we have the line in the sand there, we had the 23.6 fib. Now, basically what I did is I drew from this rally and I'm identifying these levels here. Strong levels. As long as the 38.2, I don't care what you're looking at today. If you go back and you pick your rally, which most likely happened on 1030, okay, and the market is when the market started to rally, and you measure up into that pivot high, as long as price is holding about 40%, 38%, then guess what? It's bullish. All right. But we also had a big day yesterday. Yes, we gave some back, but I want you to understand after a big day, we'd like to consolidate, digest, as some traders would say, and that digest period usually takes 1 to 2 days. Okay, so give it a little bit of time to consolidate and try not to be too rash on your decisions. For me, going into something like this requires a little bit wider stop because I expect it to move in and out of these areas and the volatility is still a little high. So smaller trades, wider stops. Listen, smaller trades, wider stops. That keeps you in the trade and you're not risking as much as you typically would when things are trending. All right. So notice here that the target has held last night. This is where I covered in this area. You can see price did push up from there. As of right now, if we do take out the session lows, I would expect it to come into the trendy edge. Also underneath the trendy edge, we have the 38.2. And also under there, we have our other edge, which is on a shorter time frame, and we have this green box. Listen, there's a lot of confluence down here. I would expect buyers to come in. That doesn't mean that I blindly take the trade. Please understand that. Price falls into here. I personally like when we reclaim major levels before I decide to get in. If there's a lot of volatility, I prefer, instead of the ES, I prefer the MES. It gives me that smaller trade, wider stop. All right, so I got to get my mind right. That's what I want to look at. All right, so that's the ES futures. This is what I expect. These are my levels here. Okay, you can take a picture of that and see how it works. All right, next thing I want to look at, I'm going to go over some ETFs with you. And I want everybody to understand what I'm showing you is not something that is made up after the fact. I actually send these out on the weekend. And we really, really do try to make this as simple as possible. But again, trading's not easy. Okay. So yesterday when we gapped up, I can't tell you how many professional traders out there complaining. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of, I'm going to rant a little bit here, and I'm also going to give you some levels. So many people complaining, talking about the last couple weeks, why they didn't do this or why they bought the top and so forth. Try to start today over. Negativity really gets you nowhere. All right, perseverance. Every day is a new opportunity in trading. Seize it. Okay, look at these levels. I'm going to talk you through them. Yesterday we gapped up. I gave this blueprint to our members over the weekend. I'm going to make this very simple for you. This is how I trade this. This neutral strategy is built on Fibonacci's, range, supply and demand, ATR. A lot of stuff goes behind this, but a lot of traders look at it at the first go and think, oh, well, it can't be that simple. Once I've developed these lines, it is that simple. I go long out of the neutral, and as price comes into the top levels, these are resistance until proven otherwise. So what do I mean by that? Yesterday when we gapped up, again, this target was here before on the weekend. I knew not to go long in the SPY. Okay, again, price moved into a Fibonacci extension. It could not close over. It resisted, rejected. It created an inside candle on the 4-hour. And then down we go into the neutral box. Yellow, right? Let it mellow. Leave it alone. Not much to do here. I'm going to give you some major levels for me that I'm looking at for today. I'm using, let me go back to my notes. Give me 1 second here. And I'm going to go into, and I apologize, I know you can't see this, but I'm looking at my notes for this morning. There we go. All right, so on the SPY, I'm using a 2H candle. All right, that means 2 hour. All right, now the major levels that I have are going to be this 9 EMA here. I'm using a 9. You can use an 8. I don't care. It's up to you. Whatever whatever suits you. And what I'm looking for the bulls, if we can reclaim the 9 and actually hold this, I would say 30 minutes to an hour. You got to be patient today. Consolidation period. Remember that. A little bit of choppiness. So this is going to be one major level, the 9 EMA. And then my next major level is going to be my trendy edge. Okay. So I don't want to see this break. And that level is around 350.5. Okay. 350.5. Then again, the 9 EMA. That's all I need to know for today. All right. If this can't hold, then most likely what I'll be looking to do is short down into the bottom line here at 346. And if we go bid over the 9 EMA, I'll give it a little bit of time. Supply and demand traders, if you're watching, if you look up and to the left, you can see we do have some zones. Okay, so what this tells me is today is tight. Right here, there was a pivot, okay, inside and down. There's a pivot, which tells me if I trade to the upside, please listen very carefully. If I trade to the upside, I will be taking profits quickly because right now everything looks range bound. And in this kind of circumstance or in this cycle, You really need to be good at trading. Okay. Most are not that good, unfortunately. Okay. But we can teach you how to get to that level. So during this cycle, nice quick trades until we start to see some sort of follow through. What does follow through mean? Easy. If we could take out the high here, then we can follow through on this trend to the upside. Okay, everybody understand that? To the downside, remember what I told you. Okay, take this 1030, this pivot high, and if price is holding at least 38 to 40% of that, leave it alone. The bulls are still in charge. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Qs. Okay, same thing here. This is a little bit different. Okay, these guys have been down in a downtrend so far, and they have dropped below the 38.2. Major levels here, I'm going to be using a 4-hour. The 4-hour 9 EMA is confluent to this resistance and supply and demand traders. You can see what's going on there. Major level here, 9 EMA, bulls need to get over. 284.84, stay short under this. Look for price to come into 280.77, 277.77. Each one of these lines serves as potential support. What I typically do is trim or sell into these areas. Okay. There is a nice area right here where price may want to come into around 275 to find buyers. If we start to bid somewhere in this section, this is when I start to pay attention to the FANG stocks. Okay. Listen to me. I do not have to spend time worrying about what Google, Facebook, Amazon, and all those are doing. I'm just watching this. I'm looking for buyers to come in here. Then I'll start paying attention. And disclaimer, I did go short on Google yesterday, and you can see that Google is down quite a bit this morning at 719 from 761. Let's go ahead and go into DIA. Same thing, I am using, let's see here on DIA, using a 4H. Okay, now this is actually looking pretty constructive. All right, I want you to notice, I went ahead and kept the fibs on here for you. Notice how it's holding above the 23.6. Pretty bullish so far. But the problem is that the range is tight. So even if we move up here, supply traders, you can see what I'm talking about, supply and demand traders. Okay, it looks pretty tight for right now. Unfortunately, there's a big section here that price can move into today. And many traders, listen to me, many traders will make lots of mistakes today. I'll put this out there, I'll show you the levels, and I will hear things across the board. Hey, you know, the Bulls are taking charge. Hey, the Bears are in control, right? And people start doing all kinds of wild stuff. But what I want you to understand is this move here, this consolidation is very constructive. But unfortunately, most traders cannot contain themselves. They do not have patience. After a big move, let it go sideways. Okay? I don't mean to sound so stern, but it's so hard to watch people lose money over and over because they don't want to be patient. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You want to make consistent money, right? Listen up. Price is going to go sideways in here. The easier trade in these conditions are going to be the follow through or the breakdown underneath. Okay. For right now, things look pretty constructive here on DIA. Major levels are going to be the 9 EMA on the 4H, and price needs to get over the 295.89. Let's just call it 296. Moving into IWM. Okay, same thing. I'm going to keep these on here for you. Please note that we are above 40%. The 9 EMA is also confluent with the 38.2. I'd expect this to be support until it's not. Bulls are in control above this 174.60. Major levels 174.60. 9 EMA, which happens to be confluent with the 38.2, 170.17. All right, so we went ahead and went through those four. Let's go ahead and look at GLD, gold. All right, here's gold. This is the blueprint for our members here. And you can see that price has moved down underneath the neutral, has broken into, okay, again, I made these on the weekend, folks. I wouldn't sit up here and go live and trade live for my members if I was giving you a bunch of BS, okay? The process works. Price goes ask underneath. We look for T1, T2, T3 to the tick. You see that price bounces. At these, you want to be trimming. Notice that we reclaim the trendy edge. Major levels for today. This could end up being an H pattern on gold for a nice short. H patterns look like this. I call them the hope pattern because everybody hopes that whatever they just went long in will continue going up, but it ends up looking like this. Okay, so major levels, that 9 EMA on top here on the 4H, and this trendy edge down here below at 175.55. Okay, that is GLD. Let's go ahead and go to BA. I'm also in this trade. Okay, let's pull back a little bit. It's actually quite close to my target. All right, and what I'm looking for in this is 190 to 200, somewhere in here. All right, I currently have on a trade with a DTE, date till expiration. Now I had spreads and I made about 80% in those yesterday. And then I jumped into a 200 call for $1.65. It closed yesterday at 1.02. It was down 37.88%. What I'm looking for right now, again, make this simple for today. I like the 4H setup, the 4-hour setup. I'm watching the 9, major level, and I'm looking for my target here at 190. If we go bid, look for possible rejection into my target, a pullback, but once it pulls back, look to see if we can at least hold about 40% of this range, which is about where these formations are. Okay, so that's that on BA. Very straightforward. All right. Next one, let's go ahead and take a look at CAT. I'm also in this. Okay, and I started this position yesterday. Currently up, close to $2, come back a little bit. I expected this to be resistance at 173.20. If we go to a higher time frame, you can see that this was the ATH, the all-time high. Price is just kind of hanging out there. Now, I started this position. Okay, you can see my notes here. Okay, I mentioned I'm waiting for confirmation. I like to see price hold over the 173.2 level on a 2-hour close today before I add anything. Okay, so again, starter position for me. Sure, it might be up when we open, but I'm not going to add anything. I'm going to stay patient. Extension targets, I'm looking at 193 to 205. Timing is the variable. If you look at the ATR, it's about 11 bucks, 10 and a half per week. All right. Consolidation, sideways action, trying to get to 195, 2 to 4 weeks probably, somewhere in there if these levels can hold. All right. So next thing I'm going to look at right here is going to be, I want to look at Google. I'm short Google. Okay, and they had some news, it's whatever. And the only reason I did this is from a technical aspect is, we had a gap up. Everybody had that gap up yesterday. And it's been quite extended in my opinion. All right. Is it strong? Sure. I could be wrong. I'm okay with that. But what I do is I use spreads. And I teach how to use spreads using my methodology. And if you are able to trade spreads, this really helps out. All right. So what I do is I buy a put and sell a put down here. And I'm targeting a possible gap fill. Now I don't need that, fully covered, but even if it comes down and gets close, I can make some nice money on this. This is a 10x trade. I'm looking for 10x. I don't have to take 10x. This one expires 10 days from now. Okay, but it has pulled back a little bit here. As far as a bull side, if you're on Google and you're looking for the bullish side of this, price needs to reclaim that 1770 area for now. Okay, that's the bigger picture. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. And then our members and we're going to get started here in about 3 minutes. Check out the website. There's a lot to offer here. I don't think you'll find any other service as transparent as we are or as much value as we give. TrendyTrading.co. You guys have a great day. Good luck to you.